Okay, we've talked a lot about being all that you can be and the importance of desire and work ethic and what have you. Next, we're going to hear from a gentleman, Mr. John Evans, who also was becoming all that he can be, but back in '94, he was pronounced legally dead, although he's still alive. Mr. Evans, I'd like for you to come on up here and just talk with me here just for a little bit. Now, yes. Thank you. Now, Mr. Evans, let me ask you a few questions. Now, you've been legally dead since 1994, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, now let's go back a little bit now. Okay, now you were a veteran. How'd you first get into the Army?
Well, it first started, I'm from Alabama myself, in which I used to marched with Dr. King also, in which I left there because the draft was coming on. I tried to get away from the draft, so I came to Fort Wayne. And I didn't have no peoples here, but I came with a classmate. And that's where it all started. And then they got me anyway here. So.
But let me ask you, when did you first, how did you get to Vietnam? How did, what route did you take?
Well, I was drafted, in which I was engaged, but that fell through because they took me, in which it was in 1996 when I left Alabama and I came to Fort Wayne. 1968, that's when I was drafted, in which I didn't have no choice but to go into service. Matter of fact, I was AWOL 2 days, didn't want to go.
But when you finally went to Vietnam, what was that like? When you first got off the plane in Vietnam, what was going through your mind, and how soon after that, once you stepped off the plane, did you get into battle?
Well, soon we got off the plane, I look at those pointed hats there. I'm wondering what's going on. And they gave us our weapon and say, hey, we're going to have to guard the perimeter. And a lot of people ask me today what I was fighting for. Only thing I know, I was fighting to stay alive. It's the only thing I know. In which but first of all, I'm just glad that the Lord blessed me to come back. Now, that's what I think. Though they say I'm dead, I'm not dead. But the Lord knows best.
But, we'll get to your death here, but, one thing I'm most curious about, all right, now, when you first got into the field, I understand that you were a point man. What is a point man, and how did all that happen?
Well, a point man where you is the head man, you lead the crowd, in which the enemy see you first.
Wait, now, you're leading through the jungle.
That's correct. And you trying to make contact. Any VCs, Vietcons out there, you trying to get them. And the ones, a lot of time they would let me by just to get the ones in the rear. But a lot of time they will get the one in the front because they don't know how many in the rear. In which I got wounded the day after New Year of '69, I never forget. In which that experience, I hope nobody ever go through. I stayed in the hospital 38 days, and the doctor told me, I told him I wasn't ready to go back. I wasn't fully ready. I was still patched up. And he said, you must go. If you don't go, I will have to go. And I was so scared when I went out there. I was shooting monkeys, anything that moved. That's how afraid I was.
Now, were you healed at that time?
No, I was still patched up. And all I could do is just protect my men. After I got wounded, they granted me sergeant. I made sergeant in a year and 3 months' time. And I was the only black in my squad. And I never forget, if I may suggest this little small story to you all. We went to Dalton for a firefight in which we received our mail. All my men wanted to read their mail. And I said, no, you cannot read your mail. We must dig in first. After we dig in, we can read our mail. Right after we dug in, we got attacked, and we fought all night. And all of my men came to me. They did not want to do that. They came to me and they said, Sergeant Evans, wouldn't for you, we've been dead. And we appreciate you today. And from that day on, my command was honored by all my men.
So when you left the military, you had left with medals and distinction?
I got Bronze Star. Well, some of the medals I can't even think of. I got appreciation medals, I don't know, all kinds of medals, in which, I don't know, it's good to have them, but it seems like the predicament I'm going through, it don't mean much.
So when you left, so you endured time in Vietnam, didn't get killed, now you're back here in America, and now you're legally dead. How did that happen?
Well, I'm fighting another war right here in the United States. My son got killed right on Anthony Street over there. His name was John Patrick Logan. He did not have my last name. He did not have my Social Security number. He did not have my address. But at first they tried to say they made a mistake with him, with me. But anyway, after his death, I went to his funeral, and then my mom was living in Alabama. I went down there to recuperate from his death. So I came back on the 1st of that month because my check is direct deposit, and I wanted to pay my bills and go back because I wasn't fully recovered. So I came back and looked in my mailbox. It was 2 letters in my mailbox, one from the Social Security, one from the VA. They was telling me they was giving out sympathy for my death. So I thought it was a joke. I said, well, I got to go to the bank and pay my bills while I can get back on the road. So I go to MBD Bank to draw money out to pay my bills. They said, sorry, Mr. Evans, your account been closed. The VA and Social Security have contacted us and you are deceased. I said, how is I'm gonna pay my bills? Social Security, they told me to go to Social Security, which Social Security would not, the amount I get wouldn't pay all my bills, in which I wanted to go back down in Alabama with my mom anyway. So I said, well, I'm gonna go to the credit union, Three River Credit Union, borrow the money until they get this squared away. I goes to Three River Credit Union. They pulled up my credit report on me. And they said, sorry, Mr. Evans, we cannot lend a dead man no money. I said, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? I jumped in my car. I went to Indianapolis that same day where it happened. I went and talked to the VA. I said, why you all saying I'm dead when you do not have a death certificate? I talked to George Gordon. He's supposed to have been my power of attorney. And he stated, oh, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks before we can get this mess straightened out. I said, man, I need my money now because the judge already had made statement that if I miss my support, it's going to lock me up. My blood pressure rose so high until I just walked out the office, jumped in my car, drove back to Fort Wayne. No sooner I got home, I was having chest pains. I was sweating. I called my brother. I said, come and take me to the hospital. As we was going down Coliseum, going to Parkview, he run every light. He also stated, when we was going by the VA, he said, do you want me to stop at the VA? I said, no, do not stop at the VA. Because back in 91, I had a slightly heart attack, in which it took 20 minutes. You went inside to find somebody to come out. It took 20 minutes for anybody to come out to get me. I don't have that much time. So I said, take me on to Parkview. He took me on to Parkview. No sooner I got there, they rushed a wheelchair and came out there, and they put me on the table right then. They was giving me nitros one after another. And then that's all I know. When I came to, they was pressing on my chest. And they said, you just had a heart attack. They said, but we can't do surgery right now. Said, because your blood pressure is up too high. And it took almost 3 weeks before they can get my blood pressure down to give me surgery. And I had 5 bypasses. That's the reason I said the Lord have blessed me. In which, one thing about it, the doctor told my brother, said, if I had been 1 second, no use to bring you here. But it didn't end there. I got out of the hospital. I'm already worried about the bills. Parkview want their money, $70,000. So they gonna sue me. So they took me to court. I was in the court, Channel 21. I believe that was the TV station, and Journalist Gazette was there. And I told the judge, I said, I did not ask for this. I didn't bring this heart attack on me. I said, the VA did it. They contacted the VA. VA finally paid the doctor bill. And then they didn't pay the hospital bill. And then just in December, they just paid the hospital bill. My credit been all messed up ever since. And what makes it so bad, it took me 2 years to get a fee-based card. I asked for a fee-based card in case if I have another heart attack, I can go to any hospital. In that way, I won't have to go through these changes. And right today, I am still dead. And they looking for me to go state to state. Everybody got a computer to let them know I'm alive. I did not make this mistake.
All right, so you had a chance to talk with different political leaders and what have you, and hopefully Congressman Sauter will be of assistance, but you've talked to everybody, I guess.
Yes, I have, and I just talked to Congressman Sauter just a while ago, and I gave him a videotape in Channel 33. I've been on TV about that. I had an interview in Gary and Indianapolis and all over, and I'm sending videos to all across the country, to each major TV station, CNN and all. I am trying to be alive. I am tired of being dead, in which I did not ask for this. But I did outstanding leadership for the government. I am a volunteer, a veteran for the DAV. I delivered patients from Fort Wayne VA to Indianapolis VA and bring them back. Why am I treated this way? And I've been trying. When President Bush Dan Quayle, I had got documents to them ever since 91, trying to keep this, try to even avoid the heart attack. But they can't even bring me back alive, let alone avoid the heart attack.
John, what I should do is, after the show, is do ask you a few more questions privately, for videotape. But I just want you to meet the people and let them see you and hear part of the story because you're here.
Yes.
That's right.
And I want to thank everybody for being out here and giving me this opportunity to speak to you all. And whatever, like I have on tape that I'm sending around the world, whatever you can do to help me come back alive, please do so.
John, thank you very much.
Thank you.